Hey everyone! Thanks for tuning into this week's video. Happy Halloween. It is October, spooky month. But another awesome thing too about October is that it is actually Cybersecurity Awareness Month. Big term that's thrown around all over in the world as our types of attacks in the world have changed from a physical to a more virtual type of an attack. And so this month we're going to do some specific videos around cybersecurity awareness and how you and your company can better yourselves, your employees, and your overall security level so you can sleep better at night not worrying about potential malicious attacks going against you, and if they are coming against you, what you can do to defend yourself. The first thing we're going to talk about is actually going to be the most crucial one, and that is every business's first line of defense. When you start talking to IT people, a lot of the times you'll hear things of like, oh, you have your firewalls or your antivirus. And while those are all very important tools to have, and I definitely recommend them, the biggest and the most best line of defense that any business can have are the employees. Cybersecurity attacks have changed over the last couple of years. Back in the day, yeah, they were brute force attacks or, intricate hacking attempts gained them access into your guys' network. That still happens, but nowadays, most attacks are done through social engineering, which is basically a fancier word of a attacker gets a hold of a user's credentials and gains access that way. May that be through like a phishing attempt or even such as a phone call. So we're going to go through some best practices I recommend for you and your business. And if you have any questions or concern, you can always reach out to IMS. It's something that we pride ourselves in of training our employees as well as our clients' employees to make sure they keep ahead of the curve and try and block any potential incoming attacks. So the first thing we're going to talk about is going to be just simply passwords, and this is just going to be a normal discussion between you and I. Everyone tells us passwords are important. I did a whole entire video on there that I'm going to link in the little card on the top right corner of the video. But I'm going to keep it short and sweet. Passwords are very important. Please try and keep them as long as possible, as well as strong as possible. Naming it after your dog or your birth year or any of those kind of things can lead to easy social engineering. They can find that information on the internet. They can call and just have a normal discussion with you, and you may not even be noticing what's happening as it just sounds like a client on the phone. So try and keep your passwords as secure as possible. To make it easy, what I always recommend doing is coming up with a couple of words, 3 or 4, that are just completely random, that have no super special meaning to you, but are easy to remember. So you could think of like teacup, maybe whale, and sports car. 3 very random words, don't have any really big correlations to it, and then maybe we're going to connect them with a hyphen or an underscore or an exclamation point in between them, and then maybe we'll capitalize a letter here or there and add a number at the end of one of them. Very easy password to remember for yourself, very hard password to socially engineer and learn about you, and it's long enough that's going to hit most requirements and stop from most brute force hacking. The next thing that I'm going to talk about is just being phishing emails. Another very common way of these type of attacks that will come into your network. Very hard to block because a lot of them are either from known good email addresses, or they're coming from like Google, email addresses, Gmail, Outlook, Yahoo, very wide and important email services that you can't just go and block that whole entire domain, right? So all right, we're going to pull up a couple of phishing emails here, and then we're going to take a look at them. All right, so first email here we're going to pull up is going to be, and I'll move my hand over here, boom, is going to be this one here. So coming in from a cancellation request, saying has a document saying, hey, do I want to cancel this? It's coming from Microsoft 365 apparently. They know my name, and they know my email address. And apparently someone has requested to shut down my email. Well, I would love that because email is hard for me sometimes. Definitely a useful tool, and as last thing I knew, I still have a job here. So probably not getting my email shut down. and telling me, hey, if you did not authorize this request, kindly cancel now. If not, disregard this message. So basically, most phishing emails are going to have like a very important thing happening. So important thing that's happening. A, my email shutting down. 2, they're normally going to talk about, hey, you have X amount of time. So, hey, my email is about to be canceled shortly. And then they're going to have a call to action kind of thing. Hey, you need to do this in order to stop this. So I'm going to have this cancellation request. Normally with these kind of things, you're going to have some sort of link or something that will be a part of these buttons. This one just happens to be a dead one. I'm assuming they're trying to get me to open up this Word document, which we're not going to do. So these are very crucial things to kind of look at. Hey, very urgent, very weird. Last thing you knew, you're still working. Probably your email's not being canceled. So don't open up any of the documents or anything like that. Where a lot of these codes are put into is in the document. So when you open it up, it runs something in the background. So you don't ever want to open up an attachment if you don't trust it. So let's look at some ways to identify that this is a phishing request. First thing I'm going to look at is always the email address. So if it is Microsoft 365 emailing me, or if Microsoft for any reason, it's going to be something, most likely do not reply at Microsoft Office, Microsoft, whatever domain they end up using. It's not going to be this random one here. So that's kind of my first, hey, this is a potential worry. Next thing that I always tell you to recommend is if it is coming from a known vendor or a known client or employee, talk about it real quick. Hey, was I expecting this document? No, I wasn't expecting to get my email canceled today, so I'm not expecting this document. Flip that into an invoice. Hey, I don't believe we've done any work with vendor A. I shouldn't be receiving an invoice. Do the right thing and actually call the vendor and validate with them. Hey, is this a mistake? Do you guys know if an attack's happening or someone's impersonating you? And you can learn a lot of information with that. So those are some really cool key things to look at when we're looking at a phishing one. So let's look at another example. We're going to pull up this one here. Another similar email one here, coming again from Office again, but in this case it's Microsoft-Outlook, kind of a weird way to put it. Saying, hey, my email is 99% full. Not sure, I'm very religious when it comes to removing emails, trying to keep my inbox clean. So hello, Tate, this message was sent to you because your mailbox is 99% full. Once your mail is full, you won't be able to send or receive email anymore. That is true, so make sure you keep an eye on your email box. We notify you about this to help you regain access. Well, I still have access to my email, so that's kind of weird wording. Click on this button. So let's look at some key things again. 1, what's the issue or the important thing? Hey, my mailbox is 99% full. Throws it right into my face. What's kind of that urgency thing? Once it is full, 99% is pretty close, I won't be able to send or receive email. A lot of businesses rely on their email as their main form of communication, so we don't want that to happen. And then 3, what's that thing that they're going to try to have me do? To regain access, I need to click this button. So obviously I need to get in here quick to clean up my mail. So let's look at some things to then identify that this is phishing. Again, we're going to start with the email. Inbox@itsupport.care. Probably not an email address that Microsoft's going to use. If we look at the actual image here, Microsoft-Outlook, kind of maybe a weird way to doing it. Most of the time it's going to say Microsoft 365 or Office 365, and just the way the image is set up through the rest of the thing, not normally a Microsoft thing to do. Next thing we're going to look at then is going to be this link, and huge tip for anyone that has emails coming in with links, you can do this on any desktop, is if you hover over the link, it's actually going to show you where that link is going to take you. Because I can make this cleanup mail say anything. I can say google.com, outlook.com. So it might look legit, but it is actually taking me to somewhere else. So always validate your links. If you're clicking on like a bank thing, make sure the link is actually taking you to a bank. I don't ever recommend clicking on a bank thing through an email. Always just log in yourself through your normal ways. Let's look at one final example. That is going to be this driving violation. Let's go over just how. So 1, what's the big important thing? I've been detected for a speeding violation. Last time I checked, at least in my area, maybe your places have more high tech and they do stuff like this, but normally you get pulled over when you're speeding. So I don't think this is how they will normally come at you. It's going to give me all this information, so it looks legit. It's going to then, hey, what can I do to, download this? What is that thing that's showing me, hey, this is actually happening, or that urgency? Hey, here's your photo proof. We can show you that you were speeding. And then 3, what do you need to do? You need to pay this in the next 30 days or stuff's going to start happening. Legal processes are going to start occurring. So let's look at some ways to, again, detect that this is a phishing email. One, we're going to look at the email. Again, if it's going to be coming from the driving, you're getting a speeding ticket, that kind of thing, it's going to most likely be coming from the government or the police station. So normally you're going to see some sort of domain like yourcity.gov, yourstate.gov, yourpolicedepartment.gov, something like that will pop up there. You're not going to have this random customer-portal.info. Again, we're going to look at the link. Hey, it's taking me to, again, customer-portal.info. Normally, speeding violations, you're again paying the city or the state or the police department, so that would be there. So those are those kind of key things to be looking at. Another really major one I see that happens a lot, not necessarily in this example, is you'll get a phishing email that looks like it's coming from your boss, and it'll say, my boss, but then it's going to show their actual email address. So just because you see your boss's name, take that extra quick second and validate that it's the correct email address and it's not coming from like a random email or Gmail, that kind of thing. And finally, what I'm going to just discuss is just, again, around that social engineering thing. So we were kind of talking about a lot of these things are happening either through, phishing attempts or internet or all those good things. Another major way is, through phone calls. So if you are a company that has, clients calling in and requesting information, make sure you guys are going to have those proper procedures in place to validate that client's info. You can look up YouTube videos of, people calling into your local cell phone carrier, Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, say, hey, I'm this person. They are going to just know some quick things that they got off of Facebook, or they're going to set up a scene where, hey, it's really urgent. Like I got a kid crying in the background. My grandma's dying. You have all these things are there, and us as humans, we're empathetic, so we're going to hear these things, and we're just going to try our best to help them. Well, and they're actually doing the worst thing, and we're harming the actual client, and we're just helping the malicious attacker. So a huge thing I always recommend doing is have proper protocols in place. When a client calls in, make sure your employees do not assist them until the client is fully validated, whatever those steps are for your business. And again, if you need help going through those proper things, get a hold of IMS. You can either get us at info@imsnetworking.com or give us a call, 701-364-2718. And we'd love to talk to your business and kind of those procedures that we recommend to our other clients. But that's going to kind of wrap up this video. The next video, we're going to talk about a little bit more of multi-factor authentication and all that fun stuff. So again, thanks so much for watching for this video. I hope you have an amazing spooky season, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.